guys, it's Megan from Vigilante Vibes, and I'm here with another character breakdown today. And usually I do mutant character breakdowns because that's my thing. But today we're going to talk about another Marvel character that whenever their name gets brought up, you are hounded with someone's opinion on how the live action version was. Of course, I'm talking about Iron Fist. So, who is Danny Rand? His first comic appearance is said to be Marvel Premiere number 15, but he actually appears in Fantastic Four number 144 as a Marvel value stamp. But he wasn't used in the story, so let's say it was Marvel Premiere number 15. Danny Rand was born to billionaire businessman Wendell Rand and wealthy heiress Heather Duncan, making him the heir to the massive Rand and Meacham Corporation. Years before Danny was born, Wendell had trained under Orson Randall and lived in the legendary city of Kunlun, which I'm sure most of us have heard of, but if you don't know, it is a mystical place hidden in another dimension and only reachable through the Himalayas. Although Wendell eventually left Kunlun, he learned that his son was destined to become the Iron Fist, a powerful warrior tied to the city's magic. Using what he'd learned in Kunlun and help from Randall, Wendell built Rand and Meacham into a huge financial empire. But while his business thrived, Wendell slowly unraveled. He became obsessed with returning to Kunlun, and that fixation made him distant and emotionally unavailable, especially toward his lonely son, Danny. About 10 years later, Wendell took Heather and the young Danny back to the Himalayas to search for the gateway to Kunlun. His business partner, Harold Meacham, insisted on coming along. During a dangerous climb, Danny slipped and accidentally pulled his parents over an icy ledge. Danny and Heather landed safely below, but Wendell was left hanging over the edge and begged Meacham for help. Instead, Meacham, plotting to steal Wendell's share of the company and his wife, let him fall to his death right in front of his family, which, yeah, that'll be the thing that gets the girl. Okay. Meacham offered to help Heather and Danny afterwards, but they refused. Trying to make it back to camp alone, they were chased by wolves near a long suspension bridge. Heather held the animals off so Danny could escape, sacrificing her life in the process. As she died in front of him, she asked Danny to honor and avenge his father. After losing his mother, Danny was taken in by the immortal people of Kunlun and brought before their ruler, the Uti, or Utai. I'm gonna butcher some words in here. I'm very sorry, but just know I'm not doing it on purpose. So I think that's Utai, who secretly had a hand in his parents' death. Danny spent the next 10 years training in Kunlun under Lei Kung, the Thunderer. And he was driven by anger and his desire for revenge against Meacham, which he should be. As an outsider, he was often isolated, finding comfort in only his friendship with Lei Kung's adopted daughter, Sparrow. Years of brutal training turned Danny into Kunlun's most gifted fighter. On his 16th birthday, he defeated Fu Shai, the Serpent King, and claimed his crown, but still felt empty. Seeing this, the Utai gave him the ultimate trial, facing Xiao Lao, the immortal dragon that was the source of Kunlun's chi. Danny defeated the massive fire-breathing dragon in its cave, earning a dragon-shaped scar on his chest and claiming the creature's heart. The dragon's power flowed into him, transforming Danny Rand into the Iron Fist, a living weapon sworn to protect Kunlun. After proving he could focus his chi and use the Iron Fist properly, Danny earned the respect of Kunlun's leaders by winning several ritual challenges. His final test was fighting the One, a massive opponent meant to prove his worth, but Danny later learned that the fight had been rigged in his favor. Even so, he was officially named Iron Fist, offered immortality in Kunlun, and given royal honors. Danny turned it all down. He wanted revenge on Harold Meacham, not eternal life. Because of that choice, he was cast out and sent back to Earth. Danny tracked Meacham to New York, tearing through mercenaries, traps, and hired fighters to reach him. When he finally did, he found Meacham broken, crippled, and terrified, having spent years waiting for Danny to kill him. Instead of revenge, Danny felt pity and walked away. Meacham was taken out soon after anyway, and Danny was blamed for it, so... Trying to clear his name, Danny crossed paths with Colleen Wing and Misty Knight, forming friendships that would define his life. He fought cults, assassins, corrupt corporation, and mystic enemies tied to Kunlun. And along the way, Danny died, came back, got dragged into the afterlife, fell in love with a spirit named Jade, and stopped a sorcerer from tearing a reality apart at the cost of Jade's life. So that's only a portion of his life. He has done a lot of things. Back on Earth, Danny struggled to live a normal life while he was still being the Iron Fist. He teamed up with Luke Cage, and together they became heroes for hire, mixing street-level justice with paid jobs. Iron Fist and Luke Cage teamed up to take down villains like Stiletto, Discuss, and Nightshade. Working with Luke gave Danny a new sense of purpose as a hero, and it also made him rethink his place in the Rand and Meacham empire. He reached out to Joy Meacham, told her the truth about being Iron Fist, and officially handed control of the company over to her. They finally made peace with their painful shared past. Danny did this because he felt he hadn't truly earned the money and didn't want to use it unless he deserved it, which could not be me. On God, could not be me. To support their partnership, Jaron Hogarth helped set up Heroes for Hire Inc., letting Danny fully commit to working alongside Luke as paid muscle and private investigators. But things took a dark turn when Danny returned to Kunlun and was exposed to deadly radiation, which led him to being diagnosed with cancer. Not long after, he was kidnapped by the Hylthri? I don't know. It's an ancient alien enemies of Kunlun who were planning to invade Earth. While Danny was missing, a plant-based clone secretly took his place in the real world, fooling everyone around him. At one point, Iron Fist tried to use his healing abilities to save a terminally ill boy named Bobby Wright. The illness was caused by radiation that also gave the boy the power to turn into a super strong adult hero called Captain Hero. The effort left Danny completely drained, and he collapsed into a deep trance outside the hospital room. Hoping to help, others placed Kree Negaband duplicates on Bobby's wrists, but instead of fixing things, it caused him unbearable pain. In a panic, Bobby transformed into Captain Hero and started attacking Iron Fist, trying to snap him out of this trance. Not realizing how strong he was, Captain Hero beat Danny so badly that Iron Fist appeared to be dead before Bobby vanished. Luke Cage was blamed for the killing and went on the run, effectively bringing the Heroes for Hire business to an end, obviously. So even though it ended, terribly, and Luke Cage is now on the run, and Danny is dead, this was one of the most important relationships of Danny's life. That's the one thing that stuck true in him. I mean, he's coming back, guys. He's not, dead. Eventually, Danny returned and reclaimed his life, reuniting with Misty and Colleen. He joined the Avengers, opposed the Superhuman Registration Act, disguised himself as Daredevil to protect Matt Murdock, and fought in massive events like Secret Invasion, World War Hulk, and Fear itself. Danny later learned that the Iron Fist was not a single destiny. It was a legacy passed through generations, many of whom were manipulated and murdered. He fought in the tournament of the Heavenly Cities, exposed corruption at the heart of Kunlun, and dethroned the Yutai, and founded the Thunder Dojo in Harlem to help kids instead of hoarding power. Over time, Danny mentored a young girl named Pei, who became Iron Fist herself. And then Danny lost his powers, he regained them, he lost them again. He ultimately chose to give them up entirely. He accepted that being Iron Fist was not who he was, just something he once carried. So he's coming to terms that it is just a mantle. He's not the Iron Fist. He is a Iron Fist. An Iron Fist. A Iron Fist. Eventually, Danny was brutally murdered on his birthday by a creature tied to the Iron Fist's curse. But death wasn't the end. In the afterlife, Danny learned the entire Iron Fist system had been corrupted from the start. Giving a final chance by the god Osiris, Danny returned as the Ghost Fist, hunted down the mastermind behind centuries of Iron Fist deaths, and ended the cycle for good. This is the most recent story of Iron Fist, and it's called The Undead Iron Fist by Jason Lowe, and I really think any Iron Fist fan should check it out. With his mission complete, Danny gave up his borrowed life and returned to the afterlife at peace, finally free of destiny, revenge, and the Iron Fist himself. So, that's Iron Fist. I wish we would get more of him instead of him just being dead all the time. But, let's be honest, he'll probably return as like an entity or something. But yeah, so that's Iron Fist. That's who he is in the comics. There's way more to him than if you've just watched the Netflix version of his life, which I actually did like. There's way more to him than that. And I do think everyone should check him out. So, as usual, I have comics for you to check out to get to know Danny Rand even better. We're going to start with Immortal Iron Fist, Heroes for Hire, Power Man and Iron Fist, and the Iron Fist from 1975, which I'd say is the best. So, those aren't in any order. I realize I put them in the wrong order. So, do whatever you feel. There's no rules in life. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. I hope you learned something, and I hope you will like and subscribe so you don't miss anything else. So, have a marvelous day.